Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
The WNBA has crashed. It's burned. It's having a going out of business sale. The players are going to get nothing in the CBA. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19, Caitlin Clark, smirking about the WNBA ratings. And we're not just going to talk about the Indiana Fever game. This is a big time problem for the WNBA with what we've just seen. And these players, as we know, with their public comments, have been absolutely delusional when it comes to their expectations of what they are going to get from this league. I do not know what kind of clauses are in the media rights deal, but the media who've paid for these games going forward, I really hope they have some numbers that have to be hit earlier in this deal, and that there are outs for them and adjustments that can be made for them. Otherwise, they got absolutely fleeced and scammed out of a lot of money. Let's go to the Fever first, but we're going to follow up with some WNBA games as well, because this has got to be setting off the siren. This has got to be setting off red flags. WNBA on a Saturday on what channel was that on? CBS? Do I have that right? Am I remembering that right? Because it doesn't have it shown here. Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever, 1.31 million. Now, I know if we go pre-Caitlin Clark, that is an absolutely amazing number. Even for some of Clark's games last year, amazing number. But this is a major, major game here. We saw the numbers early this season with Caitlin Clark and what they've done. This is a big, big, big step back. You've got a lot of Caitlin Clark fans who have said, this has gone on long enough. We've been strung along long enough. We've been played long enough about whether or not Caitlin Clark comes back, because it seems to be just around the corner, just around the corner. And then we get around the corner and it's, oh, well, maybe next game. And I think a lot of fans have been checking out when it comes to watching and supporting the Indiana Fever. They've gotten tired of just seeing Caitlin Clark on the bench. That just doesn't have the entertainment value. So many people are saying, hey, you know what? Even these Fever games, as much as they love certain players, like, it's just not fun. It's just not fun to watch. We've had enough. And it is wild to be saying this when you look back at the WNBA, not a million viewer game until Caitlin Clark last year, since all the way back in 2008 when there was one, and it was Candace Parker's debut as a rookie. And yet, yes, 1.31 million for the Indiana Fever, no longer a great number against the Chicago Sky. And yes, I know there's no Angel Reese, but that is to my point with regard to the league and the CBA negotiations coming up and whether or not there's going to be a 2026 season. I don't think there will, if the players are going to continue to spout the absolute nonsense that we've heard from them in terms of what they believe they are worth, what they believe they should get in terms of revenue sharing and on, because they keep talking about how, not salaries, let me make that distinction, but revenue share, that they should get what the NBA gets, that it should be a 50-50 split. I mean, first of all, it can't, because the WNBA only owns, what, 42%? 42% of the league, I think, and NBA owns 42%, and then they have outside investors that own 16. So at most, a 50-50 split with the WNBA would be 21% of total revenue, but even that is too much, because you have to look at the top line numbers. When you get scale, look, this is one of I don't want to go into a whole sort of business economic stuff, but just in very much in general, the reason a company like Walmart can have the prices that it has is because they are so big now that they have economies of scale and they can bargain and they can leverage. And when you're making certain products, not all products, but certain products, when you get up to a certain number in terms of sale and you have scale, and then you can produce them more cheaply and you can bring the prices down. And the WNBA's revenue, top line revenue versus the NBA, is not in the same universe. Okay, it's not that they're ripping off. Now, I don't know all the numbers. I'm just giving you the generalities of why the WNBA players are sort of grasping at too big a piece of the pie, at least initially. Now, here's the big thing. I want to talk about this. This is important, and this is why we're flipping to the next thing. The very next day, folks. The very next day. Now, I want to be clear, this is on NBA TV. Okay, this is on NBA TV. I understand. Although Caitlin Clark games still did monster numbers, and so have other games as well this season. Check this out. Hey, y'all remember Unrivaled? There was this thing back in the winter. It was this weird, like, 3v3 in a middle school gymnasium with like weird lighting and this freaky court and all that stuff, and it was supposedly like the future of basketball. And you have a lady who is part of, I always blank on this, president, vice president of the Players Union for the WNBA actually owns a competing professional basketball league called Unrivaled, which of course is so unprofessional, would never happen if with the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball or NHL or any of that. You just wouldn't do it. The league would not allow to say, hey, you want to go you want to go start a competitor professional league? Great, but you're not going to be a part of this league. You certainly aren't going to be a part of negotiations on the players' side for a new CBA, because that is absolutely insane. Now, those ratings were terrible. You remember those ratings? You had a couple games that got up over 200,000, but you had a lot down around 100,000, 110, 120, 150. You had a couple, I think, even under 100. Folks, Sunday night, WNBA doubleheader. Sun Aces, 180,000 viewers. Sun Aces, 180,000 viewers, followed by Dream Mercury, 160,000 viewers. Yes, you heard those numbers correctly. That is why I repeated them for you. Now, the other thing, just to a little salt in the wound, Sun Aces. Do we know who the Aces are? Does anyone remember who the Aces are with the point guard, right? Who is just so unbelievable and unrivaled. But not only that, not only do the Aces have the point guard, the Aces have the face of the league, the one and only, the world renowned. That's right. She was once noun, and now she is renowned. A'ja Wilson, the most recognized athlete in the history of sports, the one, the only, the MVP before the season even starts, the all everything, the shoe before Caitlin Clark. Oh, $180,000, $80,000. Yeah, she makes more than that, and that's too much. But just a great example of the nonsense. You have the face of the league, A'ja Wilson, drawing 180,000 viewers. I don't care if it's NBA TV, because you know Caitlin Clark's not drawing 180,000 viewers on NBA TV. She's drawn four times that, three, four times that, maybe five at some point. And yet, this is what we have. And these players want to complain about not getting enough money. This is a serious problem for the league. You think the WNBA, and again, I always make the caveat because of the time we're in, that those running the WNBA might want to give the players more than they deserve because, you know, girl power and all that. But if they've got people who are going to do the best for the league for long term in terms of growing the league, they're looking at this. Are you kidding me? They're looking at this stuff. They're like, how can you ask us for this, players? You're doing less than 200,000 viewers with your supposed face of the league. It ain't gonna happen. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Really do appreciate it. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. It is very, very helpful. Hey, by the way, if you're one of the Philly guys, I actually started up my Philly sports channel this week. Go check that out. I'll try and remember to leave a link in the comments below. Did two videos this week. The second one got more viewers than this channel does now. Absolutely wild. This is all Caitlin Clark's fault. Anyway, go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.